Greetings, Touchcomas. I wanted to talk to you about a picture that was released from DreamWorks concerning their Ghost in the Shell film. They issued out a preview pic of Scarlett Johansson in character as the Major Momoko Kusanagi. And thought I'd talk about it. It's not a trailer because the film is beginning shooting now, so no trailers available. This is just a teaser pic to show everybody what she looks like as this Japanese character, and not happy with it, frankly. And here's the thing right off. It is, of course, starring Scarlett Johansson. The director is Rupert Sanders, who made the Snow White and the Huntsman movie. And the producers are DreamWorks SKG. And right off the bat, I'm going to just say that I love Scarlett Johansson. I'm a fan of her work. I'm a fan of most of her movies. I'm not very angry with her about this. I'm actually just somewhat disappointed. The real blame is what I put towards the producers of the film. Even so much of the director, Sanders, I'm disappointed with him, but not full out raged at him. But here's the thing. I'm of the impression that Major Kusanagi is Japanese. I usually get that from the fact that when I watch Ghost in the Shell, it takes place in Japan and she's Japanese. So I usually get the idea that she's possibly Japanese too, based on that vague information that these films and TV shows give us. I don't accept this latest batch of whitewashing, and to be honest, it is whitewashing. And I am kind of surprised that this is still an issue. And we've had a conversation in the media regarding Hollywood's portrayal and treatment and casting of black actors and filmmakers, and how they've been operating in Hollywood, and how they've been recognized and not offered stuff. The situation going on with other races is actually, I think, worse, frankly. Because we see this over and over again with films that are about other races, like Gods of Egypt, for instance, or the Exodus film from Ridley Scott, or Prince of Persia, if we go back a few years. They constantly cast white actors in these roles. And, they darken them up, and push them out into the world as that character. Now, this has been like a classic issue with Hollywood for years and years and years. We've seen for examples, like Marlon Brando, play Asian. We've seen John Wayne, the most American person ever, as Genghis Khan. Mickey Rooney playing a Japanese landlord in Breakfast at Tiffany's. And this isn't something like, oh, ho, ho, or hilarious racist past. No, I mean, this is still a problem. In the 80s, we have Linda Hunt playing a Vietnamese man in You're Living Dangerously. Let's see. We have the movie Remo Williams, which features Joel Grey as a Chinese mentor to our hero. Now, in the 80s, we did see a shift towards a little more respectful portrayals. I did notice that because people started to complain a little bit more in the 80s. So their answer to that was, well, we'll just have these white actors just play them really respectfully. It's like, how about you just cast Asian actors in those roles? Because here's the thing, it's hard enough to get these roles. A lot of these kind of characters don't come up anyway, because most Hollywood-produced films, most Hollywood studio films, are usually geared towards white characters or white men. And, sometimes they will go to, women or black actors or actresses. But a lot of times when a studio puts their money into a film that is based in, the Middle East or Japan or whatever, they find some way to make the characters white. Or or if they have to use Asian characters, well, we'll make them, we'll cast, white people in those roles. And it's still a problem. It's amazing to me how this kind of thing isn't let go yet. And I refuse to accept this argument that I've been seeing pop up, specifically related to this film, that she's an android, so who cares? How does that even make any sense? I think one of the things is Hollywood is very interested in making live action films based on Japanese manga and anime. There's definitely an audience for it. The problem is Hollywood can't figure out how to put white people in these movies. Like, we've had instances where they have attempted a very white Akira a couple times, and that, gets kicked down the road every so often. And this film, the character, even if she is like a cyborg, it's very rooted in her story that she's Japanese. She's a Japanese person that encountered, depending on the origin, some sort of accident, some sort of instance where she needed to be put in these cybernetic bodies. And it is very in touch with Japanese culture. Japanese culture in the last couple of generations has been very in tune with greeting the future while still appreciating its past, and trying to figure out the blend for those two. And Kusanagi is one of those characters that kind of represents this. And to just strip that away and just put a white face on it just is really ignoring what the whole character is about. And I am not saying that this film is going to be bad. This could be very well produced. It could be very well written. They are doing the Laughing Man story in Standalone Complex, which is my favorite Ghost in the Shell story. That it could be very well done, but I think it's really time to let this kind of thing go and take a chance. See, the thing is, like, they always argue, like, hey, we need to put a white actor in this movie because white people will only accept the movie that way, and we definitely have to, like, we're putting a lot of money and finance into this film, so we have to have somebody we can depend on to deliver. You can't build... you can't, like, say that, and because you're not giving non-white actors a chance. If you give non-white actors chances, well, then maybe one of them might pop up as a big enough star to put in one of your movies. And hey, you could also do supporting roles. This is my advice to DreamWorks and anybody else in Hollywood. It's like, with this particular film, you could have made the majority Asian actors and maybe put one of those bankable white stars somewhere in the film and really throw a lot of money into that, advertising. Either the villain or, one of the minor characters, or, even one of the supporting characters. Or hell, throw in a new character and, just bank on that. Don't throw us bones like giving us, like, the Chief as a Japanese actor. I've seen this over and over again. We'll be thrown a bone like, oh, hey, this character's Japanese. It's cool. That's not doing it anymore. I'm sorry. And do not compare this to recent race-bending casting, like the Human Torch in the recent Fantastic Four movie, or the Kingpin in Daredevil, or the Ghostbusters, the gender-bent Ghostbusters and the reboot, remake, whatever. Not the same thing. This is not the same thing, because there's a limited amount of roles for Asian actors, and specifically Japanese actresses, or Asian actresses. And here's another one taken away that they can't be in. When it comes... Because let's think of it this way. Okay, yeah, we got Human Torch and Kingpin. I'm really tired of people saying, oh, these are minorities stealing white parts for themselves. We should create more minority parts. And, well, we can't if you keep casting white actors in these roles or figuring out how to make them white. Because let's think of it with Ghostbusters, for instance. Like, in the last 10 years, how many studio films have featured white male actors? Now, in comparison to Ghost in the Shell, How many major studio films have come out in the last 10 years featuring Japanese actresses in the lead role? How many? I'll be willing to wait. You can pause the video as you look up IMDb or Google or whatever, or think to yourself. You're not going to come up with much. I don't think you can do 5. So that's my problem with the film. I'm a big, big Ghost in the Shell fan. And this is kind of frustrated and angered me because we recently have the Tilda Swinton character, the Ancient One, in the Doctor Strange film, and that's frustrating enough. But this is a big role from Japan, and it's completely whitewashed. So I'm contemplating even not even seeing this film. I'm just that irritated. And yes, Hollywood, I'm a white guy. I'm a straight white guy, and not interested in seeing your film. So hey, what are you going to do about that? So that's what's going on with me, and that's how I'm feeling about this. So do you have anything to say about it? Throw a comment below, and maybe we'll get talking about this, because we really should be talking about this now. Because let's say this film comes out, and it's huge and successful, and people kind of like almost ignore the complaints, like, oh, these stupid social justice warriors, they don't know anything. Let's see the movie and enjoy it. If this happens, we're going to get a white Akira. I guarantee it. Do you want a white Akira? I don't. So let's talk about it now before it's too late. Push the button, Lindsay.